Breaking news, Donald Trump and the President of South Africa meet today for high-stakes talks. The world's media is watching as the two leaders discuss trade, security, and global cooperation. Tensions are high, with both sides eager to shape the future of US-South Africa relations. Reporters crowd the summit, capturing every statement and handshake. The agenda: trade deals, economic growth, and tackling misinformation. Both leaders stress the need for honest dialogue and mutual respect. Live updates stream across global news networks. Analysts weigh in on the stakes for both countries. The summit could reshape international partnerships and set new priorities. For South Africa, it's a chance to boost its global standing. For Trump, it's about influence and legacy. The world is watching every move. Headlines flash: US-South Africa Summit, a new chapter. Social media buzzes with speculation and hope. The stakes: jobs, investment, and the future of two nations. Both leaders promise transparency and progress, but critics warn of challenges ahead. Can this summit deliver real change? Newsrooms everywhere are on alert. Supporters and critics voice strong opinions. In South Africa, hopes are high for new opportunities. Around the world, experts analyze every word. The impact of this meeting could be felt for years. Every decision is under the microscope. This isn't just another summit. It's a turning point for international relations. The narrative is being written in real time. The world is watching for results. The issues at stake run deep: economics, security, and trust. But today, the focus is on solutions. Both sides want progress, not headlines. The world hopes for a breakthrough, but uncertainty remains. The reaction is immediate and intense. South Africa's reputation is on the line. The conversation about trade and partnership is suddenly global. This summit could set off a chain reaction, one with lasting effects for years to come. The world is watching, waiting for answers. This is just the beginning of a much bigger story. What happens next? Stay tuned as we dig deeper. Buckle up. Let's talk about the term white genocide. Genocide means the deliberate, systematic destruction of a group. Think Rwanda, the Holocaust. So is this happening in South Africa? Experts and fact-checkers say no. Organizations like Africa Check and many academics have studied the data. There's no evidence of a white genocide in South Africa. Crime is high, yes, and farm attacks are real and tragic. But these crimes affect all races, and most victims of violent crime are black South Africans. The idea of a state-sanctioned campaign against white farmers just isn't supported by facts. The white genocide narrative is often pushed by far-right groups, both inside and outside South Africa. It's used to stoke fear, resist land reform, and gain political support. But it distracts from the real issues: crime, inequality, and the legacy of apartheid. Focusing only on one group distorts the bigger picture. South Africa's challenges are real, but they're not what Trump's tweet suggested. The misuse of the term genocide damages the country's reputation and fuels division. So why does this story persist? Because it's powerful propaganda, emotive, simple, and easy to spread. But it's not the truth. The facts matter, especially when the stakes are this high. Let's look at how South Africa responded, and what the real issues are. Stay with us. Trump's tweet forced President Cyril Ramaphosa to act fast. The South African government quickly rejected Trump's claims as false. Ramaphosa emphasized South Africa's commitment to democracy and the rule of law. He clarified, "There's no government-led campaign against white farmers and no illegal land grabs." The government explained that land reform is about correcting apartheid-era injustices, not targeting any group. The process, Ramaphosa stressed, would be constitutional and orderly. He called for dialogue, even offering to send envoys to Washington to explain the facts. The goal: to clear up misunderstandings and protect South Africa's reputation. Ramaphosa's response was measured, firm, but diplomatic. He wanted the world to see the real story, not just the headlines. The international media often missed the context and complexity of land reform. Ramaphosa's message: South Africa is open to discussion, not confrontation. He aimed to manage relations with the US while defending the country's interests. The government's approach was about engagement, not escalation. But there was more at stake than just reputation. Economic ties with the US were on the line. Trade, investment, and jobs depended on keeping relations strong. Let's see why that matters, and how trade shapes the bigger picture. Onward. Beyond the headlines, South Africa and the US have a vital economic relationship. The US is one of South Africa's biggest trading partners. Billions of dollars flow both ways. South Africa exports cars, minerals, wine, and fruit. The US sends machinery, aircraft, and tech. This trade supports jobs and industries in both countries. A key part of this is AGOA, The African Growth and Opportunity Act. AGOA gives South African products duty-free access to the US market. It's helped industries like car manufacturing and agriculture thrive. Losing AGOA would be a major blow for South Africa's economy. That's why Ramaphosa pushed for stronger trade ties even during controversy. He wanted to keep investment flowing and jobs growing. Economic diplomacy is central to South Africa's foreign policy. Trade isn't just numbers, it's livelihoods. Let's see how it impacts everyday people, and why it's worth protecting. AGOA isn't just a policy, it's a lifeline for many South Africans. It allows products like cars, wine fruit, and rooibos tea to enter the US market tariff-free. This supports thousands of jobs from factory workers to farmhands. American consumers benefit too, with more choices and better prices. US companies invest in South Africa, creating jobs and sharing technology. Trade builds connections that go beyond business. It fosters stability and growth. South African citrus and wine fill US shelves. American machinery powers SA industries. These exchanges help families earn a living and send kids to school. Trade isn't just about big corporations, it changes lives on the ground. When trade thrives, so do communities. That's why protecting these relationships is crucial. But false narratives can threaten all this. Let's talk about why the truth matters for everyone, and how misinformation can hurt a nation. The stakes are real. Let's break it down. Here's why it matters to all South Africans. Stay tuned. When global figures spread claims like white genocide, the damage is real. It scares off tourists and investors, hurting jobs and growth. South Africa's image as unstable or dangerous is hard to shake. Internally, these narratives fuel division and mistrust. They reopen old wounds in a country still healing from apartheid. The real issues, inequality, unemployment, poverty, affect everyone, regardless of race. Focusing on false stories distracts from finding real solutions. South Africa is complex, full of challenges, but also resilience and potential. Accurate representation matters for building a better future. When the world understands the real story, partnerships and progress are possible. It's about moving beyond stereotypes and misinformation, and working together for a stronger nation. The truth helps everyone. So what can you do? Let's wrap up with some practical steps. Here's your homework. Stay curious, stay informed, and help share the real story. Here's your takeaway. Don't believe every dramatic headline, especially on social media. Be a critical thinker. Check sources, ask questions, and pause before sharing. Seek out diverse perspectives, especially from African voices. Read, listen, and learn from people living the reality, not just outsiders. Africa is vast and diverse. Every country has its own story. Go beyond stereotypes and look for the nuance. Support fair, fact-based dialogue between countries. Advocate for policies built on truth, not fear. When you understand more, you can help build bridges, not walls. Your voice matters. Use it to promote understanding. Support organizations that foster global connections. Be curious, be open, and be an ambassador for truth. That's your homework. Thanks for watching. Stay informed and keep questioning.